Welcome to another jam-packed session in the Travel Toolkit series, Brand Batch Boom, harnessing the power of consistently on-brand socials. Now, as we know, in today's world, our social content is often someone's first impression of our business. It's our storefront, our brochure, and our personal recommendations all rolled up into one. And for us as independent travel agents, it's not just about posting gorgeous travel pics, although obviously those help. It's our chance to showcase our expertise, to build trust, and to inspire people into some sort of action. So, whether that's booking a dream holiday or building a dream life, people buy from people, and the average person will make a buying decision in the first tenth of a second. So, what your presentation and your brand says about you really, really does matter. Whether booking travel or choosing to join your team, customers and prospects ultimately need to know, like, and trust you. We hear that all the time. And ultimately, it's brand that creates the connection, the know and the like, and it's the consistency over time that builds the trust. That's why authentically branded, consistent socials helps you attract and genuinely connect with your target market. The principles apply to all social platforms, but we're going to look today at Instagram specifically because I know that it's the platform of choice for so many of us, and for good reason. It has got the biggest reach across all the different age groups, it has the most ways to connect with your audience, and you can easily drive traffic through clickable stickers and link in bio calls to action, for example. If done well, Instagram is an absolute magnet for inquiries. It can grow your network and make your travel business feel polished and professional, all for free. Now, as I said, the title of today's session is Brand Batch Boom. It's so named because I'm going to show you how easily you can implement a very consistent brand style across your socials, how you can batch create awesome content super fast, and boom, use tools to help you stay intentional and consistent with posting really easily, because we all know that's the difficult bit, or using Canva. This isn't a social media training per se, it's about how we can leverage tools that we have access to in Canva to boost the effectiveness of socials and save us so much time creating them. So, if you missed the introduction to the series where we lay the foundations for how to use Canva and do your brand, don't worry. The Canva course and the other previous sessions so far will be linked on the resources page for this session, and you can find that on my website here. Or you can just scan the QR code and it should take you to the right place. And if we've got time, I'll also run through a few of my absolute favorite Canva hacks for insanely easy content creation. So, let's get started with creating our consistently fabulous feed. So, as you may have guessed, brand is pretty crucial to maintaining a consistent look and feel. And to make that really simple, we're going to utilize something amazing in Canva called the Brand Kit. This is a place where you can keep all your brand colors, your fonts, your logos, etc., all in the one place so that they're immediately accessible to you when you need them. So, when you're designing something. And I'm going to show you some really, really easy ways to quickly apply them to content designs to speed up the content creation. So, brand kits, as I said, help to keep everything consistent. They save us so much time, but really they're just a reflection of what's in our brand guide. And a brand guide is something that we create when we are thinking about and developing our brand. So a brand guide is just sort of a document. You can just pop it into a Word document, into notes, or you can get creative in Canva and create one. But essentially, it's a little either booklet or even just a simple sheet that just pulls together all the decisions that you've made about your brand. So your logo design, your color palette, your font pairings, your brand voice, the style of images that you want to use. But if you're sat here now thinking, I haven't really figured out my brand yet, I don't really know what my brand colors are or what fonts I'm going to use, then I'm going to point you in the direction of my travel brand blueprint kit. This will help you absolutely nail it. So it's available in my template store, travelincomesociety.com. And if you are actually a Travel Income Society member, then you will find that for free in the membership because everything is included in the membership. So this will walk you through the process from start to finish, and you'll come out with a really authentic brand for your business. It's going to help you figure out your logo. For example, there are, I think, 26 different logos that you can have a play about with and use as a base for your own logo. It's going to help you decide on your color palette and show you how you can actually find inspiration and how to piece together a really effective color palette based on primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. It's going to help you figure out which fonts pair well together and what to look for when you're actually trying to figure out what fonts to choose for your brand. It's going to help you determine your brand voice, knowing what makes you in particular special and unique and why people should book with you. And it's going to help you determine who you're actually trying to attract, who is your target audience based on the type of travel you're wanting to book. So effectively, it's helping you to attract your dream clients to help you build your dream business. Okay, so let's get started creating our brand kit. Now, I'm going to be using one of these. This is a brand board, and it comes in the travel brand blueprint kit that I mentioned before. But if you don't have one of these, then it's no problem. You can create something very, very similar in Canva. You just need something to be able to show the colors that you've chosen, your fonts, and your inspiration to help you pick out those colors. One really important thing to note about the brand kit in Canva is that it is actually a pro feature. Now, whilst I, as a general rule, only ever create templates for the free version of Canva, I'm going to show you about this brand kit, even though it's a pro feature, because so many people have the pro version of Canva now. And it's so helpful for speeding up and maintaining consistency of creating your digital assets, that I still feel, even though it's a pro feature, it's still really worth me showing you how it works so that you can implement it if you have got the pro. And I'm going to show you a handy little workaround using something like your brand board if you don't have the pro version and therefore can't do the full kit. You can still do a brand kit in the free version. It's just not as detailed. So I'm going to show you now how we start creating our brand kit. So you're going to navigate over here and find brand, and you're going to go into brand kit, and you're going to click on add new. We'll give it a name. I'm going to call my brand Travel Income Society, and click create. And then this is where you can effectively save all of your brand assets. So we're going to start with our logo. So we're going to add a logo in here. I'm going to upload my logo here. You can also upload all the different variations of your logo. So if you have it in other colorways, or you have icons, for example, you can pop all of those in there. So I'm going to pop all of mine in there. And the really neat thing that it does as we move on to colors is it will pick out our colors from our logo already for us, and then we can decide if we want to keep these or not. So we're just going to click on keep. One thing to add as well with regards to your logo, it's always good to get a logo variation with a transparent background, so you can apply that logo to any color background and you won't have like a white box around it. So for example, this one here has got this white box, whereas if you had it with a transparent background, you wouldn't have that. So if you've used my travel brand blueprint kit to create your logo and you don't have Canva Pro, because downloading with a transparent background is a pro feature, I will happily download it for you with a transparent background. You just need to share it with me and I will do that for you if you've used my travel brand blueprint kit and don't have Canva Pro to be able to download it as a transparent background yourself. Right, so moving back onto colors then. So it will pre-pick the colors out for you. I find it does that if you choose just one logo first and then go ahead and upload the rest. I think when you upload a batch in one go, it gets confused. So just do the first one, it will color pick from that, and then you can upload the rest of them. Then you've got your colors that it's chosen, but you might want to add some more colors. So you're going to go up here to add color. And this is where your brand board comes in handy, because you can then use your brand board, so the colors that you've already worked out, and all you have to do is copy the hex codes. If you're not sure what a hex code is, it is the color number that Canva uses to work out what the color is, and that's covered in my Canva confidence course. So you will, where are we going? We need to choose this color as well. We want that one in there. So I'm just going to copy that across and dump that code into there. So we're starting to create a really nice color palette here for all of our gorgeous colors. And I want that lovely dark color in there also. And obviously, you can put in as many colors as you like. It works better if you limit it to sort of, 6 or 7. But that's how you would put your colors in. Then you can add your fonts in. So again, with the fonts, I tend to use Alta for my title font. So I'm going to select that. You can adapt the size, whether or not it's bold or italic, and you can put a font in for all of the different variations. So whether or not you're looking at titles, headings, body text, quotes, if you want to use something different for a fancy quote. So lots and lots of options there, but you can fill that up with all of those different things. We're not going to cover this too much, but this is brand voice. So you can use this section to describe how you want Canva's magic tools to work in terms of AI for you. So if you want them to have a particular tone in the way that it writes for you, this is where you would effectively train Canva's AI to sound the way that you want it to. And again, brand voice is something that we look at in that travel brand blueprint. So you'll come out with a really solid paragraph as to how to explain to Canva or ChatGPT or anything how you want what they create
to sound, so that it sounds like you or sounds like the brand that you're creating. You can also add photos in here as well. So if you want to add a photo in of something, let me just see, let's say I wanted to add this in as an image, we could do that also. Hold on, let me just see. There we go. And graphics, icons, charts probably won't need, but that just gives you an idea of how you actually create that brand kit. So now when you go to create a design, you can access your brand kit and easily apply those colors and those fonts and your logo and your brand voice to anything that Canva is creating for you. And that's the beauty of having a brand kit and why it's worth spending time kind of setting it up properly. Obviously, I've rushed through this. I wouldn't do that for real, but it just gives you an idea of what you are going to need to do to get it all set up. Now, one neat trick I want to show you, if you don't have your colors sorted out yet, something not many people know about is this. If you go to canva.com/colors, spelt the American way, you will find this amazing resource. Now, this has a color palette generator. So you can create all of these amazing palettes here. But if you've got, say, an image that you particularly like, let's say we'll use this one again, you will find that it naturally creates an amazing color palette for you. In fact, there you go, you've got a demo image there. So absolutely brilliant way of being able to put your color palette together really, really quickly. We've created our brand kit. I'm going to show you why it's worth doing it, because it helps us to keep our content on brand really, really easily, and also helps us speed up the content creation as well. So I've just opened up a template for an Instagram post. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the logo out to be our logo, and we're going to play about with some of these color options. So I'm going to go over to uploads first. And I'm just going to choose a different image to pop in here. Let me find something. Here we go. These colors look like they will work. Oh, that's nice down there. There we go. So I'm just going to put a new color in there. And then we're going to go to our brand kit. So we're going to go to our brand kit. Now I have uploaded a transparent background here for my logo. So I'm going to use that here. I'm just going to get rid of this little cute logo they've got here. Just get rid of that. And I'm going to really, really easily apply mine. So I'm just going to click and it will drop in. So I don't have to search for it in the uploads. I don't have to upload it. It's just going to go straight in there. And it's my lovely logo in there, ready to go. Now, I like this color, but actually I'm going to see what it might look like if I just click on the shuffle option down here for the different colors. And I love that. So you can just click on shuffle and it will give you lots of different options based on your color palette that you put together. So I really like this. Actually, maybe I like the dark one. So I'm going to stick with that. Obviously, if you want to go in and make individual changes to something, you absolutely can. The normal way, you would just click on the color that you want to change and you'll go up here to your colors and you will see your brand colors, again, all pre-entered in here for you. So you can obviously go through and you can just select the color that you want to change. So it makes creating something that's now completely on brand really, really easy. And again, you can do that with the, changing the fonts and things like that. Just click on, click to add some text in your signature font. So it's a really nice way of making content quickly. So if we were then just to duplicate this down, we could obviously you'd make it about different places or different offers or different, different hotels, say, but you can just switch out the image in there. Let's say we want that like that. And you have got 3 or however many you want, gorgeous pieces of content that can be made to look really different just by using your brand kit. So you might, for example, want that to look like that. That's a better fit for it. And maybe you want to get rid of this logo and you actually want to use one of your darker colored logos for this. You can absolutely do that. There's all your logos on there. So you can pop your logo in and just plonk it up there just for something a bit different. So you can see how easy it is to create something that looks quite different but still on brand really, really simply and easily just by making a few changes to the colors here. So that just gives you an idea. I would probably actually just maybe make that, there we go. So it picks up the pool there. So you've got really, really quickly 3 lovely pieces, a lovely post created very, very quickly, thanks to being able to use your brand kit. They're all on brand. So, and obviously you would change up the content, et cetera, but you can see how you can very, very quickly create a month's worth of content in potentially an hour just simply by using that brand kit. And that's why it's worth doing. Now, I said I'd share with you the little tip. If, for example, you do not have your brand kit, you don't have access to the brand kit because it's the pro version, you can just add a page in here. And what you're going to do is upload your brand board to your brand kit in here. And what you'll find is that because you've put those things in here, when you go to, it's a little bit more manual, you have to do it more manually, but what you'll find is that those colors will be in here for you because you've put them in, whoops, there. So your brand colors will sit in here under photo colors. They'll also, because they're in the document, they will sit in here as well for you as well under the document colors. So that's a cheap way of being able to bring those elements in. And obviously you could also just duplicate that page and you could just drop in your logo as well that you want to use. So if you pop your logo in there, let's find that. I don't know if we uploaded the transparent one. Let me just upload that. This is why having that transparent logo is so important. There you go. So you can drop your logo in there. And then when you want to apply that to different pages, you can, because you can just copy it. And let's say that wasn't in there, you can just copy and drop it in. So even if you don't have that brand kit, just by having that brand board that you can create and put all of your assets on, it kind of does the same job. It's a little bit more manual. It's not just a one click and it's done, and you can't just kind of cycle through. You have to manually change the colors, but it's still a way that you can keep everything looking beautifully on brand, even if you don't have the pro version of Canva. So that's how we do the brand kit. So I hope that's helpful. And we're going to move on now and look at some other things to do with how brand can help us keep everything consistent. Okay, so now that we've set ourselves up to, with our brand kit or our brand board to help keep everything looking on brand, we're now just going to go through and have a quick look at the rest of the things that we can do in Instagram to help keep everything else put together as well. So one of the most important things, and actually quite overlooked things sometimes, is your link in bio. This is, as I said, much overlooked powerhouse of persuasion. It takes something that's very passive, so in other words, people coming on and consuming your content, and enables you to turn that passive traffic into potential buyers. So you just need to check out the previous session that we did, which covered this in depth using Flowdesk. You can also create one in Canva, and in my membership, I'll have an in-depth tutorial all about this, showing you step-by-step how to build one. And again, you'll be able to go to the resources page, which I've linked here, for you to be able to find the previous month's session, and the membership details, etc., will be on that page as well. So just to say though, it's really nice if you can create a link in bio, which again ties in with your brand colors, with your logo on it. Even if you've only got one or two links to share, it just really does elevate your social media presence. So now we'll move on to looking at story highlights. Okay, so now we're going to look at story highlights. This is another really nice way that you can create a consistent feel for your social media. If you don't use them, it's well worth starting. You can create story highlights by going to your archive of stories, and if you look at a story that you like, you'll see a little heart button with a circle around it. I think if you click on that, it will ask you if you want to add it to a highlight, and then from there you can create the highlights. But to create branded story highlight covers, you would want to create them probably for the key areas of your business. Now that might be client testimonials, it might be destinations, it might be offers, it might be getting to know you, what do I do, why work with me. Those kinds of things make great highlights. And I'll actually pop in the resources section a list of different ideas for what you might like to do for highlights, whether you're booking travel or you're inviting people to work with you, join your business, etc. But they really are the best way for a new prospect or a potential follower to get to know, like, and trust you. It's like giving them an all access pass to binge watch your content, so that they really do get to know you and can understand what you can do for them. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to create some basic covers for your Instagram stories. So I'm just going to jump on over into Canva. I've just set up a story here. And I've just used my sort of signature icon for this, and I've popped some text down here as well. You don't need to have text on there. Some people have them without and just have the pictures. Some people will have the text. But all I've done is create a very, very simple graphic here. And what you'll get when you add this to your story highlight cover, you'll just get a circle, which is why I have sort of put these graphics here, the lines here as guides as to sort of roughly where I need it to be each time. So what I'm going to do is I have got, say, five or six highlights that I want to use in my social media page. So I'm just going to just duplicate this. Once I've created the first one and I've tested it, I'm just going to duplicate that down. And then I'm going to go and back to my color here, my color shuffle. I want the first one to be quite light. And then I'm just going to see what options it gives me. That's my sort of probably second lightest color. Then I'm going to just go through. I want to find one that's slightly darker. and then different color again, and then probably this very dark one like that maybe. So there you can see it's created a set really, really quickly of your branded highlight covers. So I would then just simply download them, and I would download those, and then I will just upload those into my phone, and then I will just show you how you would then actually attach that to one of your story highlights.
Right, so we've now created our lovely highlight designs. So we're going to now add those into our highlights on our Instagram. So go into your Instagram account. If you're already using highlights, you'll know that you can just click and hold, or press and hold on one of the highlights, and you'll get the edit highlight option pop up. So you can click on edit highlight, then you can change your, you can edit your cover, click on edit cover, and you can go down to the little photo graphic at the bottom, and you can click on that, and then you can choose an image to pop into your highlight cover. Just press done and it will upload it for you. You'll also get the option then to add in the name of the highlight that you want. But I'm just going to show, for anyone who doesn't know, who hasn't got any highlights on there yet already, the way that they would get those. So if you go up to the little burger menu at top right, the three lines, and you go on to your archive, click onto archive, you can choose any of these stories that you've previously done. And at the bottom here, you can see a little circle with a heart cut out in it, and it says highlight. So if you click onto that, it will allow you to create a highlight. So you'll just go on to new, you'll give it a name. So you'll call it, I don't know, it might be testimonial, for example. So you'll pop a testimonial highlight there. And you will then be able to, you just click add, and it will create the highlight for you. Then you view it on your profile. And then again, you just need to press on the highlight and it will bring up the menu options. So then you can go into edit highlight, and you can see under the picture it says edit cover. So you'll just click on edit cover, you'll click on the photo in the bottom, and then you can just choose the cover that you want to have as your highlight there. Then you'll click done, and then you'll click done again, and it will have change the cover there for you. So then when you go to look on your profile, you've got this beautiful highlight cover in place. So that's how you do it, whether you've never had them before or you're just changing the covers over. Right, so we've now created our lovely highlight designs. So we're going to now add those into our highlights on our Instagram. So go into your Instagram account. If you've already So another really nice way of creating that consistent look on your social pages is to use pinned posts. Now these are really, really useful to showcase the most important content that you absolutely don't want people to miss. You can pin 3 posts to the top of your Instagram feed, and they should be things like, you know, what I do, who I am, why you should work with me. They're those kinds of things, or just key moments in your journey. And you'll have seen people with these gorgeous kind of perfectly sized pinned posts, like an image that looks as though it's been perfectly sliced. Everything flows together, and you can flow text, or say, I don't know, an airplane across the 3 slides, but they perfectly line up. It's really, really hard to do if you're trying to do it kind of by hand in a manual way. You also see them put into people's feed, like a post of, say, or a group of, say, 9 posts that just create one big image within a feed. It looks really, really effective. Not many people know how to do it, and it's quite a scroll stopping kind of effect. So if you've been doing this manually or trying to do this manually, you are about to love me for what I am about to show you. So I have got a really handy app that you can use in Canva for free to create those perfectly sliced images that you can then post up individually, but create that one beautiful cohesive picture. So we're going to jump into my Canva and I'm going to show you how to do that.
I've created the graphic that I want to split out across my 3 posts. You can stretch the words out across the 3. You can put whatever you want, design it up however you like, because when you use this amazing tool I'm going to show you how to use, it should split it perfectly for you. So they should line up beautifully. So you can put spread wording, across or graphics across the different elements here. So what you're going to do once you've created your design is you're going to scroll down to apps, and then you're going to search for image splitter in the apps. So I've already done that, and here it is, image splitter. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to go to, if you're working on a design here, you're going to go to export design. If you want to bring one in from somewhere else, you'll need to do choose file, but for the purposes of this, we're designing it in Canva, so we're just going to click on export design. And you're going to choose what format you want, so a JPEG, etc. The default will be absolutely fine. So you're going to click export, and what it is doing is it's exporting that design into image splitter, and then it is going to ask you how many rows and how many columns you want to do. So you can choose. So for example, if you wanted to create a 3x3 design here, then you absolutely could do that. If you wanted to increase or decrease the number of columns, you could do that. For our purposes, we're going to keep it simple. We just want it split into 3. So you're just going to say 1 row and 3 columns, and you're going to click on split image, and it will perfectly split those images up for you. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And then you can just click save the image to upload. If you put add images to the new page, all it does is it creates you 3 massive wide images, so you don't really want that option. Just click save images to uploads, and then it will do that, and it will save it into your uploads in Canva, so that you can then go and you can obviously it's just going to take a little while to do that, but then you can obviously go and use those in your design. You can then download them. So you would go into an Instagram post, you would drop the images in, and then you would just download those images, the 3 separate images, and voila, you can then upload those in the right order to your Instagram, and you'll be able to have that beautiful perfectly split effect. Just make sure you remember to pin those posts to the top, so that you've then got that lovely kind of graphic, eye-catching, scroll-stopping graphic across the top. Right. So one of my favorite things here to brand your Instagram and really stand out from the crowd, because hardly anybody does this at all. I don't know about you, but I really, really dislike the tap call to action buttons that come as standard with Instagram. So I made my own that will be much more on brand with my travel account. So I'm going to show you exactly how to make those branded tap buttons, so that you can have your own gorgeous on brand buttons to inspire people to take action on your posts. However, I'm not going to walk you through how to do this in this session today. It could be a whole session on its own, to be honest. It takes quite a while because you have to design the buttons, then you have to obviously upload them into your Instagram so that you can use them. However, you'll be pleased to know that I have already done a tutorial on this. It's on YouTube, and if you go to my Instagram and you find the post that looks like this, you will be able to find it there, and it will take you to it. You just need to comment tap in the comments, and it will send you both the tutorial, and as a little bonus from today, it will also send you a template so that you can create your own perfectly sized story tap button. But they're absolutely brilliant. People really notice them because they're on brand and they stand out from the usual stuff that you see on Instagram, and they really do help to elevate and keep that consistency throughout your Instagram feed and your stories, etc. So really recommend checking that out. As I said, that will be linked on the resources page as well, so you'll be able to go and find that, or just look for the one that looks like this in the phone here. So that's how you find out how to do your custom tap buttons. Right, so well done. We've pretty much covered brand. We've looked at how to create a brand kit, and obviously that brand kit you can apply it everywhere. So you can make lovely branded reel covers, for example, and all of your different types of posts and the stories, etc., etc. So it's you can use that now to apply it across all things. We've looked at how to create a link in bio, or at least I've signposted you to where you can find that. We've also looked at creating our own branded story highlights, how to create that fantastic split post for your pinned posts, and also how to make branded tap buttons, again referencing my my post about that, so that you can actually get the tutorial and the template for that as well. So now we're going to look at batching. So batching is game changing, and again, it's something that we can do directly from Canva itself. So I'm going to show you now a nifty trick or two to help you speed up the content creation within Canva using Canva's incredible batching tools. Okay, so the content creation part, we've dealt with making it look good, but now we need to create the actual content. If you find you're not sure what to create or you don't have time, you're absolutely going to love these next tools. I'm going to show you how to use Canva's inbuilt AI, Magic Write, to create content, and then use a really cool Canva app to batch create as many reels as you like in minutes. So let's get started with that.
ChatGPT, Gemini, and other AI tools out there, but maybe you didn't know that Canva actually has its own inbuilt AI tool. It's called Magic Write, and at the time of writing, it's available for both the free and the pro accounts, and you can use it to create content for all sorts of things. I'm going to do a full session on AI for travel businesses at a later date, but for today, I just want to show you how you can use it to batch create content for your socials. So I'm just going to jump over into my Instagram, and to access it, you're going to go into Docs, create a new design Docs. Click on Docs, and then you'll see Magic Write up here in the top left. If you don't, just click on this plus icon and you should see it in the list there. And this is the AI tool. So for example, you can ask it to, I don't know, create a list of 10 packing tips. And then you just click generate and it will hopefully generate, and it's elaborated a bit for a stress-free trip. So it's given you 10 options there for packing tips. Then you're going to click on insert and it will insert it into your document. So then you can just, if you need to do anything to the text, like remove the numbers or anything like that, you can absolutely do that. I'm going to show you how you can now take content that you've had the AI create, how you can take that and put that into an actual piece of content, and how you can then use Canva's cool batch create app to make lots and lots of posts all at the same time for you using the content that you've generated through the Magic Write, or you can obviously use ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever is your favorite AI tool. ChatGPT. Okay, so here's now where it gets really, really fun. So we've asked Magic Write to give us a list of content. It's done that. I've actually gone and asked it to give me a list of travel tips. So I have copied and pasted about 20 travel tips, and I've got those ready to drop into the batch create tool that allows us to create multiple bits of content at the same time. So what we've got here is a story. I've just used a template for this, and we're going to go and find down the left-hand side, we're looking for something called bulk create. So it's here. So you're going to click on bulk create. And then you're going to you can either do this using like Google Sheets or something, but we're just going to enter the data manually. So you're going to click on enter manually, and then you are going to just clear the table because we don't need any of that. Then we're going to give we're going to click in this first box up here, and we're just going to give it a title. We're going to call it tips, and then in this first box here, I've copied the content from Magic Write, and I'm just going to paste that into this data field here. So they're all in down here. So I'm going to then click done. And you'll see here it's stored as tips. Now, this is important because this is how you then connect the data up. Now, I've obviously got this open already. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to make any changes that I want to make to this design. So I'm going to put on here, follow us at, there we go, I'll put it to my Travel Income Society for more great travel tips. So you make any changes that you want to make, and then you're going to select the content that you want to change. So in this case, it's this section here. This is going to be our tip. So we're going to click on that and then go up to these three dots here, the more. Click on those, and you're going to scroll down to where it says connect data. You're going to click on connect data, and then it's asking you to connect the data field, and it's already pulled up tips for us. So it should give you a list of all the ones that you've created. We've only created tips, so that's the one it's giving us. So you click on tips, and it's showing you here, it's highlighted in purple. It's showing you that it knows that's what it's going to work with. Put it above here, so it knows that's the content that it's going to change. And then if you click continue, it will allow you to select or deselect any of these designs, any of these phrases. It just auto selects them all, and that's fine. So then you're going to click here, generate 20 designs. and it's going to do that for you. And then it's going to come up with this little button here. It says one design created and saved to your projects view in folder. So we're going to click on that because we want to go to the one that it's created for us. And it's here, bulk one travel. So we're going to open this up, and what you're going to find is that this has now created 20 different pieces of content for us, and it's auto filled everything in. So these are all our tips. You've got 20 amazing tips here. Now, the fun part is that you can then go in and play with them and start changing them up, because obviously you don't just want to necessarily post exactly the same thing every day. So you want to probably change the color, maybe change the images. So if you go into, again, we can use our brand here as well. So if we go to brand and we click to shuffle, it will give us an alternative. So you can do that on all of your options here, just to give you some variation. But that's looking fantastic. It looks different already, doesn't it? Just simply popping in. It was changing text color there as well. So did you notice that? Let me see if I can get it to do it again. There, so it made travel and that. But because there are brand kit colors, it's all going to work. And again, if you don't have that brand kit, remember, you can always drop in your brand sheet and use that to automatically have your colors pre-programmed into to Canva while you're working on this design. Then you would go to uploads and you would choose a bunch of lovely images that you could put in here. Let's see, look, we've got one of Paris you could pop in, behind as a background. Obviously, you would take time to choose ones that work really well with your content, with the style, and that worked with your style. I think actually it's quite nice having the dark background and just changing up this one. It gives it some consistency, but it's still making it interesting for anybody who's looking at these. And again, you would just click on and go to brand and change the brand colors. So that is how you can create a huge amount of content in a really short space of time. And obviously you can then go through and download that. When thinking about creating your content, it's really good to think about your content in terms of pillars. So you want to have maybe 3 or 4 pillars in terms of what you talk about on your Instagram feed. So again, that's all to do with keeping it consistent, repeating the themes so that people understand what it is you're doing and understand your business. So that might be it might be helpful travel tips. That might be travel, that might be community, it might be all sorts of different things. But have a think about what you would like to get across in your socials, and narrow that down to sort of 3 or 4 core things, and just keep repeating that, but in different ways over and over, and that will help create that consistency as well. So now we've got our brand and our batching sorted out. We just need to post consistently. So there are a couple of tools that I'm going to show you to help with doing that. The first one is a feed planner, so that you can actually plan out your feed and see how it looks at a glance to make sure you're happy with the order. Obviously, when you're able to batch create things, you can just have a sort of a social media morning where you do all of that, and then you're able to play about with it and actually design it intentionally so that it looks good, rather than just sort of whatever it happens to be that you're posting today, that's what goes up. So this content planner will help with that. And I'm also going to show you a really nifty trick that you can do in Canva that will help you actually schedule and post your content to your social feed. So let's get on with that. This is just an Instagram feed planner. It's just a document with frames in it. So if you were to delete that, you'd see that that was a frame. And you can either create it using the frames themselves and dropping them in individually and then tidying them up with the position tool, or you can go into grid and you can apply a grid into a document here. But either way, it's really just a visual so that you can kind of plot out where you're going to put things based on obviously your content pillars, and making sure that your colors are working well together, that you haven't got 2 very similar things together, that you've got a little bit of light and shade and interest going on, and that everything just sort of makes sense visually. So that's an Instagram feed planner, really, really useful for just making sure that when you've batch created all that content, just helps you organize, right, what day am I posting what? Because then what I'm going to show you is a little known tool in Canva, but it's brilliant, which is the scheduling tool. So let's go and have a look at that now. Content, you've planned out where it's going to go. The next thing to do obviously is actually post it. Now, if you're bulk creating content, which is a good idea because it makes it so much quicker and you can be much more consistent with it, then you've got several different options. You can use the scheduler that's inbuilt into Instagram. There are so many different fantastic softwares out there for scheduling your posts. But I just wanted to let you know, for those of you who have the Pro Canva or Canva Pro, that Canva does have its own inbuilt scheduler. So you don't even need to download the
the designs that you've done, you can just simply go up to the share button here, and you can go here to schedule and click on schedule. You can decide when you want to post. You can choose the channel that you want to post to. There's a lot of different ones. And you choose which post you want. And then you can write your caption and you can schedule it. So it's really good. It does have limitations though. At the moment, it doesn't post stories or reels, which I think is a bit of an issue with Instagram. But obviously, if you've got the pro account to be able to access the scheduler, then you'll obviously also be able to use the resize button here. So from that sense, it's really helpful because you can actually take this one piece of content and you can duplicate that across all the different platforms. So it will change the size for you to the right platform, the right size for the different platforms. And then you can use that scheduler to schedule them out to all the different ones. So that in that respect, it does mean that one piece of work can be duplicated 5 or 6 times if you're on all those different platforms. So I thought it was worth sharing with you, even though it's a pro feature and even though it's a bit limited at the moment. It's one to watch really. So I hope that was helpful. So I really hope that today's session has been helpful in terms of showing you different ways to keep your brand consistent on your socials, and how you can batch create content to really speed it up and make it more likely that, or make it easier to maintain kind of consistent posting, and also using the tools that are inbuilt into Canva, like the Magic Write, to actually help you come up with that content in the first place, because it can get quite exhausting to keep coming up with new content. So where those tools exist, you may as well use them. It's great for generating ideas, and also just coming up with things that maybe you wouldn't think of yourself anyway, like perhaps a load of call to action ideas. Also great for hashtags as well. So using those tools to your advantage when they're inbuilt into Canva. And obviously a lot of those are free tools to use, so we can make the most of them, and hopefully end up with a really elevated, consistent, beautiful looking Instagram feed, and obviously other socials as well, with the aim that will attract more inquiries to us and help us build our dream businesses. So until next time, any questions, please, obviously, as you know, reach out to me, hello@travelincomesociety.com. And again, I will, you've got the QR code here as well, just to go onto the resources page if you want to take a look at the recording. Will be up there as well again, so you'll be able to rewatch it. I know I've gone through a lot today, and I talk quite slowly, so I put it on at 1.25 speed so as not to bore you, so you will be able to kind of slow it down or speed it up even more if you want to, but thank you so much for watching, and I really hope it was helpful. I'd love to hear what you thought, so please do get in touch, and hope to see you in the next session.